It's actually part of the free plan with StreamYard, so it's like a pack they had, and I was just able to add it on there. So
That's cool.
yeah.
This is gonna be a hell of a topic.
Oh,
It's gonna
y'all
be a
ready for this one?
controversial one. I know that.
Sure.
The two people in question.
This definitely gonna be a good one. I got to defend my guy,
Which guy? Who you defended?
the Yeet.
Man, listen, man. I'm not going to disrespect the Yeet, man. I don't like. This is how I feel. Before we get it started, I think that both World Heavyweight Championship runs were controversial. I think they were both shock value wins. I don't think we necessarily needed them in the grand scheme of wrestling history. I understand why we did it to push, the Indian market and because, Jay sells merchandise, but there's other ways to go around these things and circumvent that. That's just me personally. But hey man,
Right,
say man.
that's fair. My
What's
guy
good,
K
K Quick?
Quick.
What's poppin', folks? How y'all doing tonight? What's
What
good?
up, bro?
Good.
Good.
All blessings, man.
Did y'all see SmackDown last night?
Yeah, yeah.
What
You
y'all
know,
think
I
of
had to
the?
watch. I had to watch the highlights. Of course, I was out and about, but I caught the highlights.
Yeah, I watched this morning. I went to the movies last night, but that Cody Rhodes segment with Drew, I'm thinking double turn.
it did sound like Cody was talking like a heel. I said the same thing. Talking
And
about
then
Well,
you
this,
work for me.
he went to his
yeah,
house. I see a double turn.
I can see that too.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
I'm
Well,
not
this is the
opposed to
thing.
it.
Cody is a natural heel just because of, for one, people say he's a natural heel because the way
The
he
look
dresses.
of
He
the girl.
dresses nice. He has a very broad vocabulary. He can, if he wants to, he can sound like the most condescending person in the world. If he does, because granted, he was a great heel when he was dashing Cody Rhodes. I mean, so we already know he can pull that heel thing off like the back of his hand. And for those of y'all who are not hip to the Ring of Honor Cody Rhodes, whew,
That's the true
if you
Cody.
had beef with, if you ran into somebody like that in real life, trust me, for you it would be on site. Like that dude got to catch it every time I see him because of how
20,
much of a jerk he was. But Cody
2018
is a
Cody.
yeah, Cody is a remarkable heel. So if it is a double turn, I'm not mad at it because I enjoy him being a heel personally.
Sam, what's good?
What up,
Good,
Sam?
Ed. What's going on, family? How y'all
I
doing?
ain't talked. Sam, I
What's
ain't talked
going
to you in a
on?
minute.
Man.
It's been a minute since we've been
Yeah,
on
yeah,
stream.
yeah. Y'all been ducking me, man. Y'all been ducking me. I was laying in the gas. I was whipping too much ass the whole top of 2025.
Now I'm trying to get everybody involved, but it is what it is.
you know. I'm here to defend the championship crown. What's going on, man?
Yeah, all right. We'll see about that.
Hey,
Yeah.
what we doing?
But now that we got everybody here, I can introduce everybody and we can get started with the debate. So we're gonna be debating Jey Uso versus the Great Khali, who had the better world championship reign.
Mm.
First I gotta introduce my judges. First shout out Viet for coming through, one of the judges for today. Then I got Eugene as well. Shout out Eugene. They're gonna be the judges for this debate. And then what's good, Rage? Now for the debaters, it's gonna be team one. It's gonna be wrestling with things. Sam and Dave. Glad to have y'all here. They're gonna be defending the Great Khali, and y'all know me and K Quick. We defending the Yeet Man and Jey Uso. And then just to get into the rules real quick, which the judges are making sure they enforce. First for the viewers, it's a form y'all have to fill out after the debate, saying who y'all won and explaining why y'all think they should win. No spamming throughout the chat, and just be civil and respectful to everybody, whether it's in the chat or the people up here on the panel. And then rules for us as the debaters: we can't interrupt each other. We all have our time that we go through. So if we do interrupt each other, that's points taken off. No personal attacks. At the end of the day, it's just content. And it's been a situation that's happened before, so I just gotta say it. And then,
You
yeah,
see, you,
we'll talk
you
about that out. We'll
you
talk
see
about
what
that out.
happens.
Mm.
You see what
Yeah.
happens when I'm not around, Ed.
Yeah. And then in the closing arguments, use that to explain why you think your team should win the debate. And now the judges, y'all can decide how y'all want to do time, but wrestling with things, they gonna be team one. Me and K Quick gonna be team two.
All right.
Cool.
Who's starting it off?
You want flip it?
Judges, y'all got the timers ready?
Y'all can the judges. Y'all can decide who goes first. We'll do
Yeah,
that.
I like that. I like that. Quick. I like that. I like
All
that.
right. Let me
We can always do Team Khali first if you guys want to do that. It's like
How
which-
much-
I
How
knew.
much
I knew.
y'all wanna
Yeah,
do?
I knew you was gonna want the great shit first.
How much time do y'all want?
Already, we ain't even start yet.
He wants the steak. He wants the steak. He don't want the appetizer.
All right.
All right. This is what we doing. Okay.
All right, let me just get my timer ready.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the timer. And how much time are we giving everybody?
For the opening arguments, it's 4 minutes.
4 minutes? I bet. Let me just set my one. Alright, y'all can start with I guess let's go recent. Whoever wants to start with the Jey Uso can start.
I thought Team Khali was starting first.
Yeah, let us know when the time starts.
Yeah, I just started it.
All right.
Dave, burn them down, man. Burn them down.
Okay. So this argument is debating the Great Khali's world title reign versus Jey Uso's world title reign. My opening argument is quite simple. You know, I ain't gonna have to empty the whole clip to win this. You know, it's just modern internet wrestling fans for the most part that think a world champion should always be measured by the acrobatics or how fancy they look or how fancy they sound on the microphone. Great Khali was a very successful monster champion. He's not everybody's favorite wrestler. It ain't pretty in there. Yes, he's very slow paced, but we're talking about him as a world champion. He fit the monster champion archetype that has been proven to be successful throughout this sacred sport of professional wrestling in history. You know, David versus Goliath. I am David. David versus Goliath is always a tried and true formula. That hero has to knock that big ass obstacle out of his way. And at 7'2", 400 plus pounds, he was a legitimate obstacle for some of the legendary baby faces in the Ruthless Aggression era, like Batista, The Undertaker, Rey Mysterio, Kane. And talk about a stacked era. He won a world title with a stacked era of baby faces and heels. Whether you like him or not, that's a major accomplishment. And he helped get those superstars over whenever they went in the ring against him. He helped garner that sympathy and that love for the baby faces when he would squeeze their heads and dominate them. And I just think he was a great monster champion in that respect. And I also will say the Great Khali wasn't an experiment champion. Every now and again, there's guys who are experiment champions, like Jey Uso. They give it to him because they were booked in the corner and they had to see what he would do with all the merchandise sales he was getting. Versus Khali was a legitimate business investment. Khali's world title was a real investment. And yes, a big part of it was to help WWE expand into India. Why wouldn't you want to expand in the country with the largest population in the world? They expanded into India, and Khali was a big part of that because Khali is a national celebrity even before he got to WWE in India. So it was just great business move, and he successfully allowed them to expand that way. Go ahead, Sammy.
Yeah, see, I like how you so eloquently burned them, Dave. You just gave them all the logistics, and then you gave them all the international stuff. But we're gonna keep it nice and clean, right? One person messed up on the grandest stage of them all. One person didn't, right? That's an embarrassing moment that he had with his brother recently. So much to the point where now he's back with his brother, right? See, at least Khali, right? When he was actually in that main event picture, seriously going against the names that you brought up, Dave, right?
30 seconds.
Every time he was eye to eye with them, it's exactly what Dave said. They felt like it was an uphill battle. With Jey Uso, I'm sorry, was that the timer?
On my end, yeah, it was. But
Was
I
that
was
the timer?
going 30 more seconds because I didn't start when the timer initially started. So
Oh, I got 30 more?
A couple more.
Okay, all right, cool. So, like exactly what David said, right? It was an uphill battle. And with Jey Uso, you can clearly tell that all the big main event guys have to dumb themselves down for him.
Yes.
You know, they got to look less than for him.
Now they call
He
it.
didn't have to look down for those guys and none of the other main event guys. Go ahead.
Alexa, stop the timer.
Y'all can keep it. Go. It's their turn.
All right. Alexa, set a timer for 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Hey, do you mind?
Go.
You can go first.
Alexa Plus. Want to hear it?
All right, before I go, can y'all hear me?
Can I hear your new voice?
Yeah.
All right, bet. All right, so now we can start. Now, firstly, let's not get it confused that Great Khali was this big main attraction star here. He was just big. This is Vince McMahon era. Anybody who was over 6'5" made Vince McMahon's nipples hard. Let's get this correct already. All right. All he was trying to do was recreate what he had with Andre the Giant, and it failed miserably. The only thing we remember of his reign is he won the title and lost it to Undertaker. I can't remember nothing that happened in between at all. Now Jey Uso, a man who got it out the mud, it's because of what he did. We can, for one, now tell the twins apart. Because there was a time we didn't know which one was Jay, which one was Jimmy, which one was Josh, Jacob, Jingleheimer Smith. We didn't know which one was which. But when he went out there and main event Jay was born, oh, he made that name. And everybody got behind him. He literally almost beat Roman. If Big Jim out and just ruined everything, he had everybody in the palm. If he had beat Roman right there, he probably would have been a bigger champion then than he was when he won the world championship. Now his reign, ooh. The amazing party that happened when he won that title at WrestleMania. Oh, we got all night to talk about that one. But Ed, I want you to go first.
Bet that's good. As you mentioned, Jey Uso won. Jey Uso won his world championship on WrestleMania, the biggest stage ever. Where did Great Khali win his world championship? On a pre-taped SmackDown. So, and then you mentioned y'all brought up the Great Khali and his defenses against the likes of Batista, Kane, Rey Mysterio. That's cool. Jey Uso had top tier matches with Seth Rollins the night after winning the championship against Logan Paul. In a story with John Cena. Had solid matches with Gunther. I'm gonna leave it at that for the opening argument. I'm gonna say the rest for my main points.
Yeah, y'all don't even get all the seasoning yet.
See, I want to leave time on the clock. That's it.
Yeah,
we don't need it.
They're bugging.
That's all we need.
They flimsy. That's why they left all that time.
No.
They flimsy.
No.
Y'all know damn well
Oh,
that
right. That round ain't started yet. We can talk back right now for a second. No, it's not flimsy. The only argument you got is he's big.
that ring was trash,
And
dog. It
yes,
was
there you go, right there. He's a Burlington
Jey
Andre
Uso.
the Giant. Thank you. He's a
This
Burlington
is Jey
Andre
Uso's
the
ring.
Giant.
This is Jey
You will
Uso's
find
ring.
him next to the South Pole shirts.
All
Okay?
you remember,
At Burlington.
all you remember is stop it. That's all you
Yeah,
remember.
ready?
Yeet.
Yeah, ready for round two?
Let's go. Let's go.
Dave, let me burn them real quick, man. Let me
Yeah,
Go ahead,
you
do
can
it,
go.
Dave.
You can
Go
go
get
first. You can.
let me burn them real quick. Did y'all start the timer?
Nah, I ain't started yet. So if you want to get your rebuttal before I started, let me know.
No, you start that timer. You
I
started.
bet. Alexa, start a timer for 4 minutes.
Well, it's now 4-7. It's 7 for main points.
Oh, it's 7 bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
Start
about
a
to be a
timer for
long
7
cook
minutes.
session. Let's go.
And guess what? I only need 2 before David burns you down, right?
Go ahead, start.
Oh.
I only need 2.
Go ahead, let him
That
cook. It's his
rain,
time.
listen, that rain was trash, bro. That was probably the most trash world heavyweight title reign I've ever seen in my life. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm really not gonna lie. That you guys want to hang on to that one day at WrestleMania. That one day, like that is enough to support the man's whole entire title run. It's not. It's not. Listen, Khali was actually a great villain, a great adversary.
Mhm.
After that first night, after that debut, after those Undertaker moments, he was still being able to stand across people and intimidate. When has Jey Uso ever gave us a real moment like that Rey Mysterio moment where the blood was gushing down his mouth and the man's just hanging for dear life, just asking for help? When has he ever gave us a real moment like that? True to life. Last time I checked, professional wrestling is about being true to life. Fool me. I want you to fool me into something. Make me think it's real, even though I don't know if it's real, right? And Khali did his job.
I thought that no bullshit. I thought Ray was really bleeding from his
Come
chest.
on now, Dave. Come on now, Dave. Even when he was kissing on them chicks in the kiss cam, he was doing his job. More than
He was kissing bitches every
Come
week.
on
What
now.
was Jay doing?
Dave, get him. Get him.
All right. And I'd like to rebuttal. This is Cat. Listen, you got to be factually correct. K Quick said Khali lost the title to Undertaker. He didn't. He lost the title to Batista at Unforgiven in 2007.
Face of SmackDown.
So I got to poke holes in the facts there. Number 2, Khali, like I said, really, really helped them expand into the Indian market. And you can tell he was a legitimate business investment because he had his own match. The Punjabi prison match was a very unique match, and WWE doesn't just give anybody off the street their own match and stipulation. He had a match with Batista. He had a match with the Undertaker in the Punjabi prison. It was so influential that my man Jinder Mahal, another great Indian champion, adopted it. And Great Khali helped them in that. So it just shows you the influence of Great Khali spans multiple generations, and he's willing to give the rub in multiple ways. And I also say this, man, we get it. It's fun to yeet. It's fun to run it back. But nobody takes Jey Uso seriously. Not you, not me, not Sam. As much as Ed and K Quick like him, they don't take him seriously as champion. Y'all hear them checking for Jey Uso recently? He was a flash in the pan. They gave it to him because they had to do something. He lost to Gunther 6 times. You know, he still had the cool factor from the bloodline and Roman Reigns, and they had to do something. Jey Uso will never, ever, ever be a main eventer again.
Dave, let me slip this in there real quick before the time's over.
Please
be honest. Y'all be honest with me too when this time is up. I'm talking to the judges. Y'all be honest with me. What match do you enjoy better? Do you want to see 50 super kicks per match? Or do you actually want to see a real move set? Khali at least had a real move set. Choke slam.
Time going.
Vice grip.
Alexa, stop.
Is
Be
that
honest
time?
with me.
From Mons, I don't know if that was the earlier one or if that was the second one.
Is it both?
Then which it says.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Which is
Viet,
Thomas
that
Was
says.
this
time?
time again too?
Wait, sorry, say that. You're kind of lagging out.
I was saying your time is off too? Or
Yeah, it went off too.
yeah.
All right. We're good. We're good, Sam.
Start.
Y'all
that
answer my question though. Y'all answer my question. What match do you enjoy better? Before you start that timer, what match?
What match
They'll
do
say
I
that when they do the
enjoy better?
evaluation.
Yeah.
I'll leave it to the very end. We'll base on that.
Okay. You be honest
Now
with me.
start.
You be honest with me too. You be honest with
Start
me.
the timer. And Ed,
Set a
I'm
timer
not
for
gonna
7
take
minutes.
long. Trust me, Ed.
7 minutes.
I know you stewing, but
Go.
they fell for it. Is the timer going, fellas?
Yep.
We got
Sure.
how much time?
Firstly, my man, you have officially fell for the trap. I know he ain't lose that title to Undertaker. I proved the point. Nobody remembers who he lost that title to because nobody remembers the reign. Okay? Nobody. He lost to Undertaker in that last man standing match in that feud. But my point is, thank you. You have literally sacrificed your queen in this chess match because you proved my point. If you ask a wrestling fan randomly, pull him into the alley and say, "Tell me who Great Khali lost that title to," I guarantee you, they will not say no Batista. You're lucky if they say Jim Ross, to be truthfully honest. And as far as that Punjabi prison, was it created by based on Great Khali? It was. It's just sad that he never competed in one. In the first Punjabi prison, Big Show was in it. Replaced him. The only thing he did was interfere in the second one. Matter of fact, he interfered in the first one. So he's only known for having a match created for him and never really competing in it. And as far as Jey Uso goes, I would rather see Jey Uso jump off of the ring, do super kicks and all this stuff than watch somebody walk around the ring like Lurch from the Addams Family and then put a vice grip on you as soon as he somehow gets a hold of you. He has a choke slam. He has a vice grip. What else can he do? He can't run. He can't jump. He might can lift the boot up, and when he lifts the boots up, he catches people in the chest if they tall. He can catch a regular sized person because he's 8 feet tall in the dang air. But let him try to kick Undertaker. Boom, right in the chest. He can't even get his leg up. So I would rather watch somebody who can actually move in the ring, personally. Somebody who has motor skills when it comes to wrestling, But I'm done. Ed, get analytical on him, my guy.
Speaking of Great Khali losing to Batista, that's really the only memorable moment of his title reign. When you look at the Great Khali's title reign, it was we always knew Batista was beating him for that title. Yes, Kane and Ray was involved a little bit, but it always came down to Batista. While Jey Uso, every match he went into, it was a viable opponent. You didn't know if Jey Uso was going to lose. It was a real possibility. He could have lost the night after WrestleMania to Seth. So, and then aside from that Batista story, he didn't have any long-term stories. Aside from that, the build for Jey and Gunther was based, yes, he lost to him a few times, and that was part of the build. But the second half of that build is Gunther taking out Jimmy, making Jimmy miss WrestleMania, making the story more emotional going into WrestleMania. And then the championship, it helped make the Great Khali feel more important. I give y'all credit, he was a villain. He did feel important, but the championship made him important. And pre-championship and post-championship, Jey Uso is still one of the most over acts in WWE.
That's all you want to say? You don't want to use the rest of your time?
I will say this. How much time I got, roughly?
All right, like another minute or two.
All right,
Minute.
say less. Another minute or two. All right, well, cool. Because now this is, bruh, all we doing, we in autopilot on these guys now. This is too easy. So, anyhow, the Great Khali, he is a laughing stock of the championship. He didn't even know how to hold the title upright when he held it in the air. He's known for holding that thing upside down, making him a meme. When they had put there's pages on Instagram that make these belt records of all the belts he won, of that wrestlers win. Not only does he only have one belt on there, the belt is upside down on the post. He made the championship a joke. A prestigious, legendary lineage having of a championship title, and he relegated it to a 2025 meme. That is not honor. What are we doing here? Jay, on the other hand, walks like a superstar, talks like a superstar, has the people behind him like a superstar, and when it chips her down, will deliver like one. You can't tell me that when he jumped in that crowd after he won that title and everybody was dancing and eating with him that they didn't see dollar signs because them merchandise sales skyrocketed. Come on! What does Khali bring to the table aside from being 7'2"? I will wait, and I complete this.
Man,
Right.
quick, you a liar, dog.
Quick,
Ain't nobody lying.
You
You ain't nobody lying. Because if I was lying, we about integrity over here. My guy Ed would have cut me off and straightened it out. If that was
you rather see 15 super kicks than an actual moveset. Are you,
what's the actual moveset? He has one. He has a chop, a double-handed choke slam, and a vice grip. He has three moves. Three moves this guy has. And he moves like molasses.
Chop, choke slam,
He's supposed to move slow.
What you mean?
No, he's not. No, because there are big guys who have moved fast. Okay? Andre the Giant. Oh, Andre the Giant moves quicker than that in his prime. And they trying to copy Andre the Giant.
You trying to tell me you run a wrestling company, you want a larger than life spectacle monster, or you want a crop top wearing lame, skinny, fat, tattooed up little guy?
Well, it would be one thing. It would be one thing if that monster continued. It would be one thing if I knew that monster could continue to make me money.
Put Rake's comments on the board, bro. Rake is good.
All right, you know what? No, next round. I'm gonna save this for you. You're gonna get this fire in the next round.
Bro, come on, man. Like a giant is supposed to be doing the same moves over and over.
They're supposed to, yeah.
You're small and athletic, and you're doing it. That's how I know you're lazy.
Hey! Is this part of their round? Is that clock going? Is that clock going?
How much time?
This better be part of that closing argument. Run that clock. Let the clock run out.
Hold on.
Go ahead, add that in there.
Ain't no intermission. Run that clock. Let it run. Y'all got 30 seconds left. Come on.
Whenever you're ready, because I got more. I got more for that. Dude.
I got a lot more.
Hold on, what you got? What you got, Ed? What you got?
Hold on. It's intermission, then reset because team one, they did their main points and we rebutted. So now we get to do our main points and they rebuttal our main points.
Yeah, y'all go first.
All right, well, say less. All right, well, how about this? You can start this off. You start this off.
Lazy slob. He's a lazy slob.
I appreciate y'all. Appreciate the birthday wishes. My birthday was yesterday.
Yeah, happy birthday, my guy. I should have said that when I came in. Happy birthday, bro.
Appreciate it.
Happy birthday.
Appreciate it.
Rake's cousin cried when Rey Mysterio got his head squeezed. You see him in the comments? That's how crazy it was.
That's real. That's what real wrestling's supposed to look like.
All right, Team Musa, you ready to make your main points?
Yep.
All right, Ed, get a moose.
Timer starting for me is now.
How much time is on it?
I have 7 minutes.
7. Alexa,
Right.
set it for 7.
All right, the Great Khali. His matches, as we mentioned earlier, limited, slow movements, heavily protected. His size made him a threat, but aside from that, it's like he had short matches and was restricted most of the time. It's not like he could do much because of his size. It's like I don't see how that's supposed to make him this great world champion if all his matches are essentially the same. Like it's really no difference in him aside from the 2 triple threat matches he had during his title reign. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the emotional story Jay had going into it, whether you credit that to him being with the bloodline those years going into it, he still built himself up to that. He still got over with the crowd. He got over before the Yeet gimmick. The Yeet gimmick, the Yeet gimmick is what's been able to keep him over. And after climbing the uphill battle to finally beat Gunther, he got his moment at WrestleMania. As opposed, that's the biggest stage. Opposed to the Great Khali getting his moment on SmackDown on a random SmackDown in the summer. So and it was in a battle royal. So what a great moment to win your first world championship. And and then both reigns, yeah, they get heavily criticized for different reasons. But it made Jay a bigger star. He was working with bigger people at the time, at least compared to that era. The Great Khali's entire reign was based around Batista. Like
Facts.
Kane and Ray, they were just side pieces in that. Like they didn't really
And
serve a
to
purpose in that feud. And then,
and
like I
to add
said,
on to your point, Ed, because they said in the beginning of this that we were hanging on to that one day, meaning when he won the title at WrestleMania. Well, at least we can say Jey Uso had a day. I'm just saying, at least he had one. Now you can go ahead and finish, Ed.
yeah, I was almost done. As I said, working with the top stars of the company, working with Seth Rollins and the Vision, one of the best Raw matches of the year, especially up to that time. That was a great match. The match with Logan Paul on Saturday night's main event, another solid match, another solid story. The match with the Money in the Bank match, it shouldn't have main evented. I don't know why John Cena had to be involved, but Jey Uso still had that privilege to working with John Cena. And then he eventually lost it to Gunther. But at any time during his reign, it felt everybody he faced felt important. It felt like, oh, we don't know if he could lose it, or we don't know if he could win it. It wasn't a guarantee that Gunther was going to get that world title back, at least from Jey Uso, because we knew he was going to get it back a second time. But was it going to be from Jey? Who knows? Okay, quick.
So and also I'm gonna give it just due. Being the fan base that he had over in India was picking him up a good business move. Yeah, it was. Didn't last long, but it was. The well ran dry pretty quickly because not long after that, we can say everything we want about Jey Uso, but he never was relegated to a laughing stock. They literally had Great Khali 7'2" behind on a Halloween show dressed as the Tooth Fairy just when The Rock came in. Have you seen a 7 foot, 400-pound Tooth Fairy? We did on SmackDown. Imagine that. Hey, ain't no money. I would not pay to see my monster, my opposing figure in a Tooth Fairy costume becoming a jobber. Have you seen a 7'2", 400-pound jobber? We did on SmackDown, and his name was Great Khali. After a while, you can rub that dollar all you want to, but after a while, nobody was paying to see Great Khali. Wasn't nobody to come in to see him, Otis. Nobody was. There was nobody, like, because he got, how in the world can a 7'2" person with this move set, this magical, amazing move set, just get lost in the sauce and not even see a mid-card title reign again, let alone a world title reign. He's known for holding the title upside down. Won one title and is relegated to a meme. Nobody can say when we run through classic matches, top 10, 20, 30, I guarantee you a Great Khali match in WWE is not going to be on that list. I guarantee, and it definitely ain't going to be from his reign either. At all. Not one in any lifetime. Never. So, who has the star power? Jey. Who had the star power when they were champion? Jey. Whose merch went through the roof? What merch did Great Khali have as champion? None. None? Okay. What other money, besides from the fact we got a 7-foot giant, did he generate? None. Just the simple fact that he was 7 foot. And that got old quick. Why? Because we have other 7-footers. We got Big Show, we got Kane, we got Undertaker, who are quicker, more athletic, and have real move sets. We had Sid Vicious. We had all these other amazing giants. For real, Khali's at the bottom of the pot when it comes to giants in the WWE. Let's be truthfully honest here. We are not going to sit here and act like Great Khali was going to outmove Big Show, was going to outmove Psycho Sid, outmove Kane, outmove Undertaker, outmove all of these athletic behemoth of athletes. He's going to walk 2 miles an hour and perform 3 moves and have people in awe because he's 7'2", 400 pounds. Until the Punjabi kiss cam and the Tooth Fairy stuff started coming along. That's what your world. This is your champion. This is your champion. David, this is your champion. Sammy, this is your champ. Jey Uso in a tutu, never. What are we talking about?
Alright, Alexa, set an alarm for 7 minutes.
7-minute alarm set for 6:45 p.m.
All right, those
Alright,
are
let's
some
go,
really
Khali
fun
team.
points.
Sammy, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep this nice and easy. Y'all started the clock. Y'all
Yes,
started.
sir. I did.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Cool. All right. Cool. So, man, what K Quick just gave y'all was the old politician shook jive lie. You know. Let me camouflage my stories and make it a little better, right? Him and Ed both did a great job at that. I give them credit. I give them props, right? I give them great props. First of all, he only got sympathy because Roman Reigns was whooping his ass all over that ring, embarrassing that boy. He was whooping his ass. So give the credit to Roman. I'm tired of y'all leaving Roman out of this freaking story. Give that props to Roman. Roman is responsible for that boy. Let's be serious. Then after he detached from Roman, he's like, oh wait, this Yeet thing is kind of fun. Let me hang on to this Yeet thing. Like, and you want to, and K Quick, you want to talk about move sets? At least Khali has one. That's the whole point. Like, how are you a small guy who can actually move and you don't have one? You just want to kick people 90% of the match and slap you and make it obvious and slap your thigh too while you're doing it. You don't even do it like a real wrestler. You blatantly boom every freaking time that you do it. He's so obvious with it. He can't even work. Like, let's be serious. And before I pass it over to David, I got a real statistic for them, right? They want to talk about, oh, Khali's only moment is with Batista, right? He only does this with Batista. Hold on, wait a minute, Dave. Do you know that nobody has more dislike videos than Jey Uso on WWE site? Nobody. This dude is the only wrestler I know that gets dislikes more than likes. Go look at all Khali's top moments right now. It's not dislike more than like. That's real. Go ahead, Dave.
Man, what an excellent point, Sammy. I almost forgot about that. The most disliked videos of 2025, multiple videos come from Jey Uso. That's an excellent point, man. Y'all keep talking about how good Jey Uso is in the ring. I could tell y'all are being dishonest, man. As Sammy says, it's not just the fact that he's a poor worker that makes it obvious he's slapping his knee when he's doing the super kick. We saw on WWE Unreal on Netflix that even the whole front office, creative office was having doubts on him because his cardio wasn't on point. He's out of breath pretty quick. His body's not in shape, guys. His body's not world champion material, and it doesn't have the cardio of a world champion. If you look at all of his matches, I'm glad you brought up his match against Logan Paul. Logan Paul's not even a veteran in this business, and he carried most of the action in most of the match. Jey Uso always has to get led by the other opponent in order for the match to even be halfway good because he doesn't have ring generalship in him. And I also say, you keep picking on Khali. You keep saying, oh, he's slow. Oh, he's big. Again, it's modern wrestling fans that think everybody got to do 450 splashes and move fast like Sonic the Hedgehog. Khali moves like he's supposed to move. That's how monsters move. That's how monsters work. That's how it's supposed to be. He's supposed to hit you with some power moves, some big boots, a two-handed choke bomb, a chop, and call it a day. A giant shouldn't have to do all that much to beat people, if we're being fair. So it's very true to life, if you ask me. And that's like asking Shaq back in his day to jack up 10 million three-pointers. No, I'm going to get you in the post, and I'm going to keep dunking on you. And I'm Khali. I'm going to keep choking you. I'm going to keep throwing you, and I'm going to use my power. And Jey Uso, we talking about, at least Khali had a manager to speak for him and get him over. Davari, Ranjin Singh, get him heat in those promos. Jey Uso did not have one good promo as world champion. All of his promos are the other person talks majority of the 10 minutes, and he comes back, hey, Oos, I'm going to get you. I'm going to put you down. 4 letters, 1 word. Bro, you are one-dimensional. He is the most one-dimensional physically and verbally. And I don't even know. It's so ironic. Khali's getting called one-dimensional for being big and slow, but this guy's one-dimensional and he's small and weird-looking. Like, he is the most weird-looking champion I've ever seen. A crop top with shorts? Why is he wearing a crop top? Women wear crop tops. Why is this dude wearing crop tops, bro?
It's embarrassing.
I don't want my man crop tops, man. Go ahead, Sam.
I'll take a dude flipping the title upside down any day over somebody wearing a crop top.
Any day.
Man, come on, man.
This guy's wearing a crop top. And I'm gonna say this. Khali, whether you like him, whether you hate him, whether his ring style is your cup of tea or not, he is memorable. Memorable. Yes. Nobody feels Khali forgettable at all. Hell, my man was in The Longest Yard, one of The Rock's best movies.
Adam Sandler movie too. Adam Sandler movie.
That's the Tom. Alexa.
Come on, man. So he is memorable.
Where's Jey Uso's movie?
Jey Uso is memorable for being a twin, for being in the bloodline, and for being in a tag team. Jey Uso is not memorable for being a world champion. Jey Uso is not memorable for being an intimidating force in the singles division. Jey Uso is memorable when he's in a tag team and in groups, and that's his lane. I mean, look at how they came in, for God's sakes. Khali was champion like less than 2 years, and Jey Uso got a lucky experimental run like 15 years later.
Yeah.
Okay, judges, keep that in mind.
And I want you to deduct some points because he said The Longest Yard was The Rock's best movie. He wasn't even in it.
You could duck that. You
All right,
could duck points and we still kill you.
all right, we got
Oh,
set.
you win.
Hey, closing.
Adam Sandler went and found the dude. He don't want to find
Hey.
people like Jey Uso.
Hey,
My
for the
fault. I
closing
mixed
argument.
that up with Gridiron Gang.
No, it's too late.
Hey, for the judges.
I'll give you this. They're both football movies. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Both teams get 4 minutes for closing arguments.
All right, bet. Alexa, set an alarm for 4 minutes.
4-minute alarm set for 6:50 p.m.
All right, go.
Is on too.
All right, we're gonna close with this. The whole dislikes, I don't really care about it. Like, I don't know what that proves, because the online reception is really different from the fan reception. Because you look at a guy like Cody Rhodes, a lot of people hate on him online, but he still gets the crowd reaction. So I don't know what the dislike. I don't know how the dislikes is supposed to help y'all in this argument. It's the truth. Look at how Cody Rhodes is perceived. And Jey Uso, bringing it back to him, he's still a top star. Even after losing the world championship, he didn't just not go back after it. He still went after the title again after losing it. We're not going to ignore that part that he still went after the title. He ended up losing to CM Punk. He was still part of War Games. He was still in a top story. And now he's back in the tag team division. It wasn't just lose title back to tag team division. It was stuff in between that. And I never ignored Roman Reigns. I said I give credit to the bloodline for helping propel Jey Uso to what he is now. Yes, I give Roman credit for that. I never ignored that part. I never ignored that about Roman's career. I've said this numerous times that he's helped Jey Uso become who he is today. But those matches with Roman, those were great matches. I don't know why we're forgetting that. He had good matches with Roman Reigns. But I'm going to pass it to you, K Quick.
All right, this is going to be easy. So, we can look back on one of these people and we can list classic moments, classic storylines, classic matches, and then we can look back on the other one and say, well, he was tall. You know, he was tall. You know. What else? Okay? What else? Literally, I will take, because football players wear crop tops, by the way. When they take off all that gear and padding, they usually have cut off shirts. I will take a dope looking Yeet shirt over a tutu. I don't want to see Great Khali in a tutu. Someone who was the world heavyweight champion should not be relegated to a 7-foot tutu. I didn't even know they made him that big, personally. What size is that? What size is that? I don't know. But anyhow, look here. Y'all must be, y'all, I'm going to call you, both of y'all collectively Mr. Fantastic because of all the reaching and y'all are doing right now. Y'all are stretching for the moon. If you all are trying to talk about Great Khali as if he is Bret Hart right now, we are not about to do this. Y'all act like he had this amazing skill set. Now, granted, the slow walking giant, yeah, that worked back in 1987. In the ruthless aggression era, we had giants, real giants that could. Ooh, y'all lucky. But my point is made.
That's how you know he was saying a whole bunch of malarkey.
That's how you know I was cooking. That's how you knew I was cooking. Stop that. That's how you know I was cooking. I was slow burning y'all. I was slow burning.
Hey, quick.
I was cooking. Stop. Judges, what we got? Judges, what we got? Enough of this foolishness. What we got?
They got 4 more minutes.
Oh, my bad. I forgot. I forgot. They got to talk too. Talk that meaning.
Don't you try to cheat us because we were burning.
Yeah, let them go. Quick. Let them go.
My bad.
Hold on. Before we even go, did we ever compare that man to Bret Hart, or did we just say at least he has a move?
Never.
He has a few moves.
They like putting words in our mouth.
You know what
them.
I mean? Like, dude, all we're asking for is don't give us the same thing 10 times. Is that too much to ask?
I'm finna say this. This not part of the
Is
debate.
there clock going yet or no?
Hold on. I'm finna say something. I'm
Oh, okay,
happy
my
that
bad.
Great Khali has never did a 450 splash. That's not what I'm trying to see.
Thank
He might
gosh.
break something trying to do
I'm
that.
glad.
I just had to throw that in
Why
there.
does he need to do that though? Why
I'm not. I'm saying he doesn't need to.
Come on,
Yeah,
let
but
them get
why
their
do you
I
point
don't
need
think
out.
he's ever. He's the only person who Great Khali is the only person who I've seen walk the ropes. He doesn't run the ropes like everyone else. He walks it.
That shit.
But notice in the midst of their argument, they never address why that man does the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Because y'all
I
didn't
just
address
want
why
y'all
your man does
dedicated.
only the same
I
things
just
over
want
and
y'all
over
dedicated.
and
Come on,
over.
let
We
them
go
get
to
their
that.
clothes. Let them get
I'm
their
helping you
clothes.
guys out. Keep good note that they never address that. All right.
All right. Start that clock. Start that clock. Let them. It's time to start this
Alexa,
closing. Enough of this semantics.
restart the
Start
alarm.
them all.
There are no timers set.
All right, my
Set an
timer
alarm
is
for
on. You're
Alexa.
up.
Set an alarm for 4 minutes.
4 minute alarm set for
And on top of that, right? On top of that, he gave me a corny thing. He tried to sacrifice Cody Rhodes. Ed, you diabolical, bro. You diabolical. You tried to sacrifice Cody Rhodes in this argument? Cody Rhodes does not have not one video that is disliked more than liked. I just checked. Only that man has videos that are disliked more than liked. And that's because that's the people. Listen to the people. They telling you we don't want to see the same thing over and over. We don't want to see you huffing and puffing on your promos. Yeet, yeet. We gonna give it to him. Oh, yeet. He sounds out of breath when he's doing it. Like, compose yourself, bro. Compose yourself. Listen, Ranjin Singh or whoever that manager was did a great job of promoting Khali.
Davari?
Wonderful job. Was it Davari?
He had
Both
both.
of
Who was
them.
it?
He had both of them.
He had Ranjin Singh. I like Ranjin Singh. Ranjin Singh did a great job of promoting that man. And that man worked for a while. And even when he didn't work, right? Even when he didn't work, you could bring up all that Tooth Fairy stuff and all that, right? But hey, at least he was mentioned for these other things and he got to fall off with grace. This Jey Uso thing isn't with grace, bro. We gonna hang on to this, bro. You embarrassed yourself at WrestleMania. You embarrassed yourself on pay-per-views before. And even that John Cena put over, which usually works for every young guy, it didn't work for you. It didn't work for you.
And that
we gonna
tells
remember
you something.
We're gonna remember. Go ahead, Dave. We're gonna remember this. We're gonna get him.
See, when the John Cena rub doesn't work out for you, that just shows how limited you very much are.
Time. But I'm going to give you another 30 seconds because they was talking. Alexa, set a time for 30 seconds.
30
All right,
seconds
that's cool.
starting now.
That's all I need. Sammy killed it, but I'm gonna say in conclusion, man, all I've heard, the arguments I've heard from Ed and K Quick were biased arguments. They weren't objective arguments. It's because they like Jey Uso more. But if we're looking at business, larger than life appeal, national
Alexa, off.
marketability, Khali was a more effective world champion. That's what this debate's really about. He checks more boxes that makes the business more healthy as a champ.
Time. All right.
That's time.
Alexa,
All right.
off.
Hey, Sam. My point about this not part of the argument. My point about Cody, it's not necessarily about the dislikes. It's just about the online fan reception. Because he's super
We
over
love
with the
Cody.
crowd. No,
We
I'm
love
not saying y'all don't. I'm saying the online perception is very different. Like at the promo he cut last night, it was perceived differently. I'm rocking with it, but I've seen a lot of comments negative about the promo. That's just what I'm saying.
he's mixed, but people don't go at him like they go at Jey Uso. Jey Uso gets crucified, man.
Yeah, but that's the point I was making. I wasn't necessarily
No,
talking
it's
about
fair
the
though.
dislike.
It's fair. It's fair. I just didn't like how you threw Cody under the bus.
But all right, we're gonna get into the voting part of it now. So I'm gonna
That's
send
good.
I'm gonna send this form in the chat for the viewers for y'all to vote on, and y'all let us know who y'all think won the debate. But at the end of the day, it comes down to what the judges think. Comes down to what Viet and Eugene think. So if y'all ready, or if y'all need a few minutes, y'all can tell us. Well, once y'all ready, y'all can tell us who y'all think won the debate and give y'all reasons why.
All
And
right,
don't forget my question too. Make
Alexa.
sure my question's on.
And don't forget that went over
Yeah,
time.
we're
Don't
not
forget that.
forgetting.
Now I'm not gonna forget. I'm not gonna forget. Um, I'm not gonna lie. If we going objectively off of just debating and the art of debating, I'm gonna go Team Kali. We brought up poignant points. They brought up the fact that it's yes, both people their reigns are controversial. Both reigns are mixed bags for people. I don't think either were necessary. I let that be known off the rip. But from an objective business perspective, I can understand someone trying to breach into a different market, especially from the way that India is populated. At the same time, I can understand if somebody wants to put over a talent because they're one of the top merch sellers. Now, the only issue with that is LA Knight was right there too. You know what I'm saying? If LA Knight did not exist, if this character was not present and they both weren't top merch sellers, I would say I completely understand the Jey Uso push. Now, my other issue with the whole Jey Uso run is that I feel like his cousin fucked him over more than anything. And I'm not talking about Roman, I'm talking about The Rock. If Rock comes back WrestleMania 39 and has a match with Roman, and he has the match with Cody as well, he can afford to drop one of those two belts instead of both belts. If he drops one of those belts to Cody, and then eventually they unify it again, they have to make a vacant world championship. That could have been the time in which he'd have got a bigger moment doing that at that SummerSlam or that Night of Champions. I feel like him sacrificing Gunther for this did not help, and especially in the way that it happened. I can advocate for Kali. I don't like that it happened on a random SmackDown, but when someone gets hurt, you got to do what you got to do sometimes. Now, the only thing that benefited Kali is the names involved because a lot of the talent in that match was not going to be a world champion. So you knew it fell down to Matt Hardy, who wasn't going to get it, Batista, who you knew they didn't want to rush it back on. Kane, who is objectively another dude that fits the quota of Kali, which goes to the Jey Uso argument. Like, we didn't need to put it on Kali. I get the whole Indian market thing, but if we just wanted a giant, Kane was on the brand. Taker was on the brand. Like, we had other people. But from a perspective of we want to breach into another market, I get that. From the standard of this guy is always going to be remembered to a casual audience, I get it. Because if I talk to a lax fan and I say, do you know the Usos or do you know Jay Uso? They're going to say, oh, you mean Rikishi Kid. Whereas if I say, yo, you remember Great Khali? Oh, you mean that nigga that killed Rey Mysterio? That's two different perceptions. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel like both teams were arguing more a part of the lore that led to the title reign as opposed to the title reign itself. If we're going based off of these title reigns, both of them are mixed bags. The only thing that Kali gets like a pass off of is the generation in which he was in was more like focused on entertaining a crowd as opposed to work rate. So when you have a guy like Batista and Kane, I'm sitting there and I was what? This is '07, so I was 9. That shit is cool to me. Now that I'm 27 and I know the business and I know what real work rate is, it's not good to see Jay Uso in these matches. But there's a 9-year-old now that's thinking, yo, that's the shit. You know what I'm saying? So I can't sit there as objectively and be like, it's not a smart idea to put it on Jay. But when you think about his run and what it could have been, that's the only thing that's kind of like, I don't want to give it to Jay Uso because there was no Ludwig match. We didn't do the Gunther match on a pay per view or even a Saturday night main event. The Seth Rollins match was a disqualification, which, yeah, the Batista match at SummerSlam was a DQ, but you knew they wanted to set up for another match. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they didn't do Jay any favors with this run. Like, it was a here, nigga, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, we see you getting it, but I would have much
That's
preferred.
exactly what it was. Here, nigga. Here,
But
take
I
it.
feel like it was that way for both of them though, because it's like
No.
with Kali for me, it's like we tried with the WWE picture, and John Cena had to carry you. You know what I'm saying? But for that same thing, John Cena had a fantastic match with Umaga. You feel me? And Umaga was a fantastic match with Bobby Lashley if that's the case. Like, there's other giants Cena has been paired up with that got a bigger rub attached to that. With Khali, you only remember Rey Mysterio, Undertaker, Batista, John Cena. That is the basis outside of the Kiss Cam and fucking like Santino. But with Jey Uso, you're gonna remember him as one of the greatest tag team wrestlers. You're gonna remember the saga of him going and being his own man. Because even without the Yeet shit, I will say the right hand man shit elevated him way more. But if they were smarter, their story arc should have been have the Usos win the tag team belts off of the Gorillas of Destiny as opposed to having him as a world champion. I don't think he needed the world championship. If anything, it led to more detractors. Whereas with Khali, you didn't need the world championship, but we at least understand that this nigga is 7 feet tall. There's very few people that can beat up a 7 foot tall man. And to the moveset arguments, like Prime Khali was in the early 90s and late 80s. He was already past his prime, but he was a big draw in India. That's why he was in the Gridiron Gang and the Longest Yard. He's a star. He's a movie star. I don't see Jey Uso breaking into Hollywood. Like, Jimmy, I can potentially see. Jimmy has good comedic timing. He has a superstar wife. Roman, we already see he's looking to do it. The Rock has already done it. I don't see Jey Uso doing that, but I don't think he necessarily needs to either. You know what I'm saying? But I will say off of just Reigns, seeing as they only had three defenses themselves, and it's only a 10-day difference, I feel like neither really served a purpose, but I can understand Kali's purpose being served more. With Jey Uso, it's like, fuck, we fucked up. Let's just throw it back on Gunther. You know what I'm saying? I would have much preferred a Sami Zayn heel turn where he wins, or Ludwig goes to go after the belt, or Roman potentially goes after it, or Jimmy goes after it, because at that point, we could have led this shit until the summer or even now. Now there's no debate. Jey Uso would have been a better world champion. With so much left on the table, I can't give it to him. Whereas like Khali served his purpose. We all knew this was a to get this shit on Batista. And like everybody said, Rey Mysterio was a side piece in this. Kane was a side piece in this. The Undertaker prior to getting hurt was a side piece in this. But this was always to get Batista back with the belt. You know what I'm saying? It served its purpose. It got its purpose. Whereas with Gunther, it was like, what was the purpose of this? We sacrificed a guy who was the longest IC, the longest NXT UK champ, one of the greatest progress champions of all time. For what? Because now he gets no push because everybody's talking about you tapped out all the time. Jey Uso doesn't go over because the guys who love wrestling, the pure art of it, is gonna sit there and say he don't use submissions. Why the fuck did he tap out a submission specialist? If anything, it made more people dislike him than like him. You don't want to do that when it comes to giving a guy a world belt because now Jey Uso is Jack Swagger. You don't want that.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? I
Oh
would
yeah.
much rather Khali as an intimidating force, even though he can't wrestle. Fuck it. They did it with King Mabel. You know what I'm saying? I might not like it, but I understand the business mind. It's like, fuck, there's not a lot of dudes that could theoretically beat him in an actual fight. But when you giving me a dude that I've seen work well with his brother and he's gassed in matches, this is getting me tight now. Cause like he didn't need an IC run. He didn't need the tag team run with Cody Rhodes. He didn't need the World Heavyweight Championship. We could have still like told the story of Jey Uso becoming his own man by that without any of these belts because the fact that you ventured on your own made you your own man. You haven't like you coming back and being on good terms with your brother does not make you less of a man. If anything, it makes you whole. Why? Because you did that whole year by yourself and realized, fuck, it's better when I have my family with me. Because that's how Kofi won his title. That's how Biggie won his title. When you sitting there and you got that push from your family telling you, go and get that shit done. You feel way better. Instead of when you by yourself. When you by yourself, who you gonna celebrate with? You know what I'm saying? Like he celebrated with us as fans, but that's the thing about live attendance versus online rhetoric. Live attendance, and I've gone to numerous shows. I go to like WWE, AEW, I go to Ring of Honor shows, I go to fucking indie shows. When you pay your money, you want to have a good time. Even if it's ass, you're gonna have a good time because you spent your money. You need to feel like you're vindicated in this purchase. Whereas when you're at home, I didn't spend this money, so I could think objectively. Whereas like I've been at the Barclays Center and I saw the Gorillas of Destiny versus Motor City Machine Gun. You can hear a pin drop. Those are two of my favorite fucking tag teams of the last 20 years. And you can hear a pin drop because casual audiences don't know them. But casual audiences know Jey Uso. They gonna go crazy for him. So I don't feel like that's a good enough argument because the online fans watch everything. They'll give you their opinion and say, I don't like this or I like this. But at the same time, you can't always listen to just the online rhetoric because by doing that, are you going to put the WWE belt on Jonathan Gresham because he's the best like technical wrestler? I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? So it's got to be a 50-50 split. And even with the 50-50 split, I do feel like Kali's objectively is a little bit better off the fact that he did get a match that was meant for him. He did sit there and was able to put his country in a more favorable light. It did lead to Jinder Mahal getting a world title run, even though he should have got the US belt. Like, these things came off of the back of Kali. Whereas, like, if Jey Uso is really putting in work, my son Zilla should be on TV right now. Like, come on, dog. Where's Lance? Where's Sean Maluda? Where's Manu? Like, I don't know. Like, to
Right.
me, it just feels like I understand why Jay got it. I respect why Jay got it, but I would have much preferred LA Knight wins the Rumble. He goes on to win from Cody Rhodes. Cody turns heel. That does more for this year's of wrestling than Jay Uso winning and he beating Gunther. I feel like this pushed this
And,
year back.
and LA Knight's better than them too.
That too.
No, yeah, super valid arguments between both of you guys. Honestly, when I guess when to judging a better heavyweight champion, there's a couple of things I think of mine is one is the in-ring performance, obviously, the consistency, the storytelling, how they connect to the crowd, and how they elevate the championship. Well, Song of the Great Khali, I think like Sam and David, they make excellent points. It's his size. He's a big guy. He's a credible villain. He makes things look like, yeah, he's a huge threat. Who's going to beat this guy? You think of people like Batista, Undertaker, even Rey Mysterio when he got his head squeezed, looked like he actually died because I thought he died on screen. It makes him a credible villain. But the problem with Great Khali is his in-ring ability, and his ring ability is pretty much limited. And I think what Quick and Ed had made some points. Like, he's not moving. Like he's just there. He just does 1, 2, 3 moves of doom, and he calls it a day. That's his heavyweight championship reign. So I feel like Great Khali himself is more of a physical specimen, almost like he's a spectacle of some sort, right? But did he elevate the championship? Not really. Not to say that he didn't really attract the crowd that much. They didn't really care for him. So when we go talk to Jey Uso now, he's not what everyone wants. But he is over with the crowd. Did he elevate the championship? No, not really. But at the same time, he connects with the crowd, even though the internet wrestling community says otherwise. But that doesn't matter because it's what he is doing in the arena night in, day out. And I feel like as a ring performer, he's okay. I'm not saying he's Bret Hart. I'm not saying he's the most technical wrestler on the planet, but he has some ring ability. He can make some storytelling in the match, which some people disagree, which makes sense. But every time I see a Great Khali match, I think of the same thing every time. He's gonna do a chop, he's gonna do a big boot, and he raises his hand. Oh, I'm the big guy, but he doesn't show too much in the ring. As Jey Uso, he'd be a little bit more flexible. Yes, he's not in shape as a singles competitor. Yes, he has a super kick, the unlimited amount of super kicks, but again, he can create more of a story. I think as overall, Jey Uso is more of a good storyteller. It makes him a little bit more credible champion at times. But the Great Khali, besides his size, there's not much to him. He has to get a manager to make him look more credible because he has to talk for him. And I guess, yes, the Indian market too does count as bringing more of an attraction. But besides that, I don't really see him as a champion. He didn't elevate anything. He didn't really produce anything. I feel like Jey Uso provides more of a champion. Not a good champion, but he is a champion. I can somewhat see. But I do believe that Jey Uso is probably more of a champion. I do agree with Ed and Quick as well.
Damn,
So
so we
what-
split.
All right, so
Because
Sam, you got to say something.
So dang.
like
So
you
I guess it has to come down to the crowd vote. I guess the audience.
Actually,
Wait a minute. Wait a
wait.
minute. Wait a minute. So y'all not gonna answer my question? If y'all got y'all chips and y'all bear and you got nothing to do at night, whose match do you rather be in front of your screen? A
so
Jey
that's the
Uso
thing.
match
Like
or a Khali match?
if it depends, because no funny, I hated watching Khali matches growing up, right? But my favorite wrestler is Batista. So like I can watch the Pujami prison match because I know my favorite wrestler is gonna win. I can watch John Cena versus the Great Khali because you want to see like the face of the company beat the giant. You know
That
what I'm
was an
saying?
excellent match,
There's
by the way.
matches I can go back to for him and be like, yo, he's a part of some major moments. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like Jey Uso's title run, I'm not gonna probably go back to, but I feel like a lot of what we're saying when it comes to this argument is like they're talking about their bodies of work as a full-on competitor. We're not talking about the title run, and that's the argument we're supposed to be having. If we're talking about the title runs, let's go back to the three matches that each guy had individually. There was a match against Gunther at WrestleMania. I'm not the biggest fan of the end. There was the Battle Royal for Khali. The ending of the match was a little bit better, but we all knew like, Batista probably should have won, but you knew he was going to push the heel. Now we go to the next match. We got Seth versus Jay. It was a better in-ring match, but at the same time, DQ, right? Go to the next match. You got Batista, you got Kane, you got Khali. So because of shenanigans, Batista doesn't retain. Well, he doesn't get the belt back. Cool. Next match, we got Logan versus Jey Uso, and it pains me to say that Logan Paul was carrying most of that match. That's a
Word.
damn shame. I don't like this guy. I like Jey
Does,
Uso.
isn't
I
that
don't
an
want to like
indictment?
Logan.
Isn't that an indictment on that man as a performer?
You know what I'm saying? Like, but then again, now if we're talking full body of work, I'm picking up a Usos match 10 times out of 10 before I watch
Not
Khali
me.
matches.
Not
But
me.
that's the thing,
Not
like
me.
that's just me. I like tag team wrestling.
That's
You know what I'm
because
saying?
everybody had to carry Khali. The guy couldn't move.
Bro, that's everybody carries Jey Uso.
I feel like they
Dogs.
both get
He
carried in
does
their
the same
matches.
maneuver. Listen,
No,
85%
bruh. Jey
time.
Uso doesn't have to get carried by everybody, but everybody carried Khali. The referee had to carry friggin' Khali.
Nope.
For
Nope.
crying out loud.
He did
I
his job.
mean,
You
goodness.
lying, quick. You lying. You on your
Well, I
island
mean,
on
look, while Khali is standing there still moving 2 miles an hour, the other wrestler has to carry him and make it look like something is happening in there.
who? When does Jey Uso ever make it look like something's happening in there? When?
More times than Khali did.
No. I
I'll say that
disagree.
much.
I disagree.
More
That's
times
not
than
it.
Khali did.
I
Because
would
All right, hold
say
on.
if we
Listen, let me tell you something. Khali grabbing somebody and bringing them all the way up to his 7'5" frame, all the way up there. That's something to see, dog.
It's a spectacle.
That's something to
How
see.
long does it take him to grab him? People are
It
running
don't
around him
matter.
trying to
It doesn't
playing
matter.
Tom and Jerry.
The fact that he can get him up in the air that high, that's something to
All
see.
right. So
All right.
after that he does that, then what? If I spend my money to see Great Khali, I'm gonna be in
Hey,
all of the fact of how tall he is, but then after that, he does nothing for me.
hey, that's cool. I'm not spending my money. I'm not spending my money to see somebody just kick me 5 or 15 times a match. I'm not
All
doing
right,
it.
so after you get over the aesthetic of how tall Khali is, what is he gonna do live that makes you go, he's gonna grab somebody, pick him up, set him down, do a chop,
Let me
throw a
tell you.
boot. That's it.
Let me tell. Let me tell you something. Those moves actually look like they hurt. He doesn't have to slap
That
his
boot,
thigh to make it
all
look
right.
like
So
it hurt.
that big ass slow boot he throws up looks like it
He
hurts.
don't have to slap
Yeah.
his thigh to make it look like
All
it
right,
hurt.
I'm done. I'm
All right.
You
done.
know
Let's
that's
go to
true,
the fan
dog.
votes.
You know that's true.
All right, hold on.
You
Hold
know
on.
that's true. You know it's true, quick. He don't got to slap
Hey,
his thigh
Sam.
to make it look like it hurt. When he
Hey,
doing
Sam.
something to you, it hurt.
Hey, hold on. We
One time he
go.
threw a boot and somebody fell down before the boot hit him.
Wait, hold on. Okay, quick. Hold on. The So I just checked the voting form we did. It's also tied 1-1 there. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna spin
Dang,
a
it's a
wheel.
draw.
We won.
If y'all want to end in a draw, we can, or we can spin a wheel to decide the winner.
And you don't need to do that. Just go.
Well, we might as well just keep it authentic and leave it, because for real, spinning a wheel doesn't determine whose argument is better, really, if you ask me.
And
So
all y'all got to do is look at the dislikes of Jey Uso's video. That tells you who won.
And then all y'all can do is look at the mobility rate of each human being.
No, we're not doing that.
Hold on, Ken, quick. How many seven-footers do you know that move fast?
You say what? Well, all right, I can tell you right now. Big Show moved fast. Faster than Khali. But in WCW, he moved fast.
We comparing
Sid Vicious moved faster.
Replacement to a guy who did. I feel like we gotta take that into consideration. Like, if we go and look up WCW Khali and we look up WCW Big Show, they roughly move around the same. Now, when we look at WWE,
I'm gonna tell you this.
They not,
that's not true. That's not because Big Show was drop kicking people in WCW.
No, Big Show could actually do like moonsaults. They actually forced him not to do it, but he could actually do a lot of that shit in WCW.
But it's dumb for Big Show to do that. That's why he stopped.
Yeah, but Dave's right. It wasn't smart. Why would he? It's not smart.
All right, and also let's not forget. Sid Vicious was one of the most agile big men I've ever seen. Like, he was actually moving with folks and all that good shit. So there's a whole lot of it. And let's not get on the Undertaker. Undertaker would literally do a cruiserweight punch out the ring.
Undertaker don't count as a giant.
Undertaker's like 6'9".
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Because literally him, Kane, no. Undertaker is definitely a giant. Because him, a giant. How is he not?
A giant is a 6'11", 7 feet man.
All I'm gonna say is,
all right. If we're doing that, then there's a lot of people we gotta rule out. Kevin Nash ain't a giant. He's 6. He's 6. Sid wasn't a giant. Kane wasn't a giant. None of these guys were giants then. Because you know WWE hypes up everybody's height. So everybody who was 7 feet. Big Cass ain't a giant. He was 6'9", shoot height, but he's 7 feet tall. Braun Strowman is not a giant. He's 6'7".
That's true.
I'm looking at 90s clips of Khali. My son can move. I feel like we always look at him from the 2000s. If the nigga knees is blown,
I know that's the problem with him, dog. That's the problem.
But we're talking about the title reign. He was moving like a sloth during the title reign.
Yeah, and your man was literally a human spamming button.
So yeah,
he moves how to carry.
Because according to other wrestlers, 6 foot. According to other wrestlers, 6'8" and above is considered a giant, not 7 foot something.
No way.
If you stepping over the top rope, you a giant.
No way.
That's what everybody in the wrestling business says. Right now you're saying that to prove your point.
I say 6'10" and above.
So if
that's super giant.
6'8" man, you're super giant. Now we have a
because if you're standing next to a 6'8" man, because I got friends who actually like play pro ball and shit. 6'8" is not short. That is a giant.
A big motherfucker.
That is huge.
It's not.
6'8" is a giant.
It's not, but when you go get people like Andre the Giant and Big Show, then Kevin Nash, then all these people, they make those dudes look small.
Yeah, they
not that much smaller.
But they
do.
They still giants.
Yeah, they do.
People. If the average American height is 5'9", a dude 6'7" is taller than you. A dude 7 feet.
6'8" is huge. You know now, granted, there's giants. But there's giants that make Big Show look small. If you put Giant Gonzalez next to Big Show looks short.
That's cool.
Not many people.
Giant Gonzalez was 7'6".
I know. That's what I consider a giant. That when you're freaking.
So Big Show isn't a giant because Big Show got dwarfed if he stood next to Giant Gonzalez. And there was only one Giant Gonzalez. There was no over 7'2" in wrestling that I remember.
Big Show, most of his career still made 90-something% of the roster look little.
That's because of who they booked him with. They booked him with people that he made look
I feel
very,
like it's
very
all about
little.
perception
No,
because
it's because
Razor
they couldn't
Ramon
get
was the
much
same height
7
as
plus
Hulk
people
Hogan,
that were
but Hulk
bigger than him.
Hogan
They
towers
couldn't
over
get him.
people, whereas
They
Razor
So
didn't have.
Ramon
They
muscle
couldn't find
small.
him.
because, and this is why, because matter of fact, we'll do an Undertaker. When Undertaker had to fight Great Khali, the
Yeah,
commentators, everybody, they ruled it as the Battle of the Giants. JBL was talking about, I can't wait. There's going to be two giants beating the hell out of each other. They're saying Undertaker is a giant. That's how they
yeah,
build these things.
yeah. They over exaggerated that one quick. They did.
That they always do that. They've been doing that their whole career. They've been saying Kane is a 7
Would you
footer.
say Hulk versus the
Undertaker
Thing
is a
is a
six
clash of
foot.
giants?
Undertaker is 6'10". Ever since I was a kid, I always believed Undertaker was 6'10" because that's how they build these guys.
I
So
believe he
they
is.
always put these guys as giants.
I believe no. I believe he actually is 6'10". But I'm just saying, a real giant is someone that it's freakish. You're not finding that. Like you're finding a 7+ person. No,
Well, that's why
I don't
they
know.
you know what I'm saying?
You're
You're
talking
because
about
finding
it
like
that.
there's
depends on the
still
person. It
giants
depends
can
on the
still be
person.
bigger than other giants. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah,
Cause,
Like
there's
cause
if
giants
you've
that are
ever
bigger
seen
than
One
other.
Piece, there's a scaling system to giants. You could have a giant that's regular in comparison to giants, and then a giant that's like two of them. So it's
nah,
like
I listen. I classify people like Undertaker as just big men. They're just big. They're big men. Like
That's where it's different because I look at Bam Bam
there's big
Bigelow
men.
as big man.
There's
You
big
know,
men and there's giants. I think that's how it's split up.
well, that's the because I look at like Bam Bam Bigelow or Bobby Lashley. I look at those guys, Brock Lesnar. I look at those guys as big men. If you are dwarfing these guys, like friggin' Sid and all these guys, that's a giant because standing next to my homeboy. Like if he was right next to you, you'd be straining your neck trying to look up to him. He's
Absolutely.
6'8". That is a giant. Now, are there other giants on his team that he played with that are bigger than him? Yes, there was this one dude who he played with. I didn't see him in person, but I showed a picture of him. Made him look tiny because the dude was one of those rarities where he was over 7'2". Dude was straight up homage 7'3". Easy 7'3",
That's a
and
giant.
made picture somebody who's 6 foot standing next to somebody who's like 6'4". That's what he looked like standing next to this guy. And I looked at my boy as a giant. There are just cases where there are giants that are bigger than other giants.
But quick. I'm
What's
like
up?
5'9". I'm like 5'9". So you could take a 6'3", 6'4" person and I'm straining my neck.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
definitely. So imagine, and I'm 6 feet. I'm 6 foot.
That crazy.
Yeah. So and you're right because I'm 6 foot even, and
I'm looking up.
man, I look tiny standing next to this guy. So, like to me, like just being around him, I can see why wrestlers are saying 6'8" and up because for real, the shoot height of Undertaker and Kane is 6'8". The shoot height of Sid Vicious is like 6'7", 6'8", something like that. You know.
Yeah.
So these guys are that big because when you look at them, how much they dwarf people, they're dwarfing people, and they're not fully not even fully the height they're built as. So a lot because even I sometimes underestimate how big because I seen Undertaker in person, and I was looking up at this guy, and whew, I'm like, what are they? I actually had the privilege of seeing him and Brock Lesnar fight. Those are the two biggest Caucasian dudes I ever seen in my life. They're big in different ways. Undertaker was tall, and Brock Lesnar's back looked like the hood of a car. These guys are too dang big. But there's some straight up mutants walking around.
All right, so
that's real. That's real.
So we're just gonna end the debate with a tie.
First time in history we have a draw.
In history.
First time we just made history tonight, fellas. We have a draw.
The only
Like I
reason
said,
why I'm
Ed,
willing to let it
just go
ride on
look
the
at his
draw,
views, man, in week
I
one.
think
Now I'll give you this. Great Khali is a global attraction in regards to India, because when you do look at his views on YouTube, each match on YouTube is like 10 million, 15 million. Like
That's what I'm
he
saying.
does have a following in India that is unmatched.
And when you
That's
conquer
what I'm saying.
when you conquer the Great Khali, it makes you look good.
do it.
But all right, with all that being said, this was another great debate. Before we head out of here, everybody can plug their stuff. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
definitely. Y'all already know.
Facebook,
Follow me
yeah,
at the real K Quick. Follow me at the real K Quick. I am kquick.com. EP Follow the Trail Volume 1 out everywhere. Much love, y'all. God bless. Always.
Yo, it's all love, bro.
You've been getting busy. You've been getting busy too, quick. I've been seeing your joint, dog.
I try, man. I try to do my thing out here. You know the vibes.
Her. You can follow the boy at sgn.eug on IG. I soon make like a specific like whole social media setup for the wrestling and shit. But for now, just on a personal page.
Yo, follow. You know the vibes, man. Subscribe to us at Wrestling with Things for conversations with pro wrestling content creators like this. We've had Ed on. We've had a lot of the familiar faces on this panel on. Subscribe to us with new content. We about to drop a big interview soon, coming down in the works. So subscribe to the channel. Ed, take it away.
all right. Make sure y'all subscribe to my channel. Trying to hit 1,000 next year, so we on the road to that. Got some big stuff planned for 2026. Appreciate everybody for coming through. Make sure y'all leave a like. Make sure y'all share for other people to see so they can check it out. Even after it's over. And yeah, Sam, you got something?
Ed, make sure you talk, because I know you're gonna bump in the couch before I bump into him. Make sure you tell couch I'm looking for him too.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like that last HBK Bret Hart thing he put up on his thing.
Yeah, I was riding with
All
Brett
right.
on that one. Like, yeah, Sean is more
Make sure
entertaining,
you
but
tell
when it
couch
comes to
Oh yeah, we're
rap,
gonna have to talk to him about that. We
I
gotta
think Brett
All
that
right.
better
one.
rapper. I
He
I'm gonna
think
hit
he
him.
was
He
he was
is.
he was disrespecting Bret Hart.
Yo, make sure you
Oh
tell
yeah,
him.
that he
I'm
was
looking
out of
for him.
pocket
like
I
for
it
didn't
real.
like
came
how
at
he
the fact
came
that
at
the
Brett.
nigga was concussed. He was like, he ain't have a second stint. My fault for Goldberg. Damn.
All right. Actually, hey,
Make sure
before.
you tell him I'm looking for him. I'm looking high and low.
All
Oh
right.
yeah,
Oh,
no,
two
we got
things.
some stuff to talk about.
He
Oh
been
yeah,
ducking
two
me
things.
too. He been ducking me too.
Oh, two things before we head out. This idea came from Reg, so shout out to Reg for giving me this idea for a debate. And number two, that HBK thing, that might have to be a debate for 2026. We'll see.
Make
We'll
sure
see
I'm
what
on it.
angle.
The streets
Don't
gonna
I
forget.
got
say
you.
Shawn Michaels because you feel me, the two stints, but like the actual niggas who like wrestling for the art of wrestling, they gonna go with Bret Hart. But that's like a hipster. Like, how many niggas gonna sit there and be like, Mob Deep is better than fucking Wu Tang? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really like hip hop, you feel that way. But if you a mainstream listener, you're always gonna go Wu Tang. You're always gonna go Outkast. You like, you know what I'm saying? It's just certain acts that more people know, but actual appreciators of both will have a certain opinion. It's like the Prince and Michael Jackson debate.
Yeah, that's tough too, because I'm a Mob Deep
That's
dude.
gonna
You see what
yeah,
I'm
that's
saying? Like, yo,
All right, but I'm gonna end stream now, and I'll talk to y'all later.
all right, shout
much
All
out,
right,
love,
hey,
baby.
folks.
hey,
Y'all be
Happy
easy.
belated
Much
again,
love.
my
Peace.
boy.